Hey everybody, it's Ashley Sabera, also known as WWE Superstar Dana Brooke, and you are listening to The Dave and Creech Show.
Many of the terms, comments, and stories you're about to hear may not be suitable for some. Listener discretion advised.
I'll give you a good reason why my house is not complete. I have a professional wrestler and a gangster rapper building my house.
All right now, boys and girls, we want to introduce...
Mom says when I wear this badge, you're supposed to treat me like a man of the law.
Dave Sheridan.
I did poop my pants a little bit on purpose. You know, I wanted to.
Oh, so. You did it.
CJ Creech.
I actually got on Facebook a friend request from a member of ISIS this past week, which was really freaking weird.
Have you seen your beard lately?
The Dave and Creech Show.
Now here's your host, Dave and Creech.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Dave and Creech Show. This is Creech, and we've got Dave Sheridan here as well. And
what's happening, America?
Before we get into our interview this week with WWE Superstar Dana Brooke,
good interview.
We've got an actual, we've been talking about appearances the past couple of years, and you're going to be at a convention this weekend, Dave. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about it?
I'm finally crawling out of the cave, and I am going to make myself available to the public. Yes, I'm going to be at Rock and Shock in Worcester, Massachusetts this weekend, and this weekend is October 11th through the 13th. So I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be out there all 3 days. So if anybody's in the New England area and wants to talk Patriots or Tom Brady with me, then shoot on by, and I'll sign a little picture for you, and would love to meet you. So come on out to Rock and Shock in Worcester, California. No, Worcester, Massachusetts. I don't even think there is Worcester, California.
Yeah, I don't know if there even is. Yeah, and then afterwards they can go home and watch the WWE Draft on Fox and see where...
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Dana's going to come on. We're going to talk to her, and I'm totally curious about this draft. How many years have they done this draft, Creech? Because I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, it's been off and on since 2002. They did it for like 5 or 6 years, and they stopped for about 5 or 6 years, I would say. And now I think they picked it back up in 2016. They've been doing it every year.
Got it. They want to make yeah. It sounds interesting. Sounds like a unique way to kind of change up the leagues, so to speak. You know what I mean? So.
Exactly. Well, let's get the chatting with Dana.
Hey, Ashley.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good.
Thank you again for coming on the show.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. You are a bodybuilder, a model, fitness competitor, and a professional wrestler. You wear many, many hats.
Yes, I sure do. I try and do it all.
Yes, and actually, it's as of today, you're actually the youngest person on this podcast.
The youngest?
Youngest, yes. I actually, we were born the same month. I was at the beginning of November '88, though. So you're about 28, 27 days younger than me, but you're officially younger than both of us.
You know something? I feel like I'm so old these days. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be 31? Where did the time go? What happened?
I feel that every day, yeah. I'm not looking forward to 31. I wasn't looking forward to 30, but we're really making Dave feel a little bit older now.
How old is Dave?
Yeah, is that what it was leading towards? Really talking about how old I am? Come on,
yes, exactly.
I'm so old. Yeah, I'm at that point where I'm, as a man, I don't even want to talk about my age. If I was a woman, I'd be offended. So, yeah, old. I'm old.
You're 29 and holding. That's what I say all the time.
Exactly.
Everyone tells me, I said I'm 29 and I'm holding here. Nothing more.
That's the answer from now on, too, and I think that's a good idea for Dave to say as well.
Yeah, Dave, keep it that way.
But,
I'm teaching you something.
Well, speaking, just talking about age and body and stuff like that, and as you make a lot of your business is physical, both in the wrestling and in the weight training and physical training and stuff. So obviously, with someone like you, your age does come into play. With you need to keep track of, where you're at in life with that, and how do you find that injuries and stuff are taking its toll or take longer to heal or things like that?
Yeah, something that question is often asked a lot of times of how I'm feeling, especially, I started gymnastics when I was 2 years old, so I was a gymnast for 18 years, and to be honest with you, my spirit and, my vibe and stuff, I feel so like I'm a kid at heart. Like, I love to do fun things. I love, going to amusement parks. I love I'm a kid at heart, right? So it's like I still love scary movies. I still love Christmases, everything like that. So my spirit and everything is still super young, and I'm fun, and I don't ever think I'm going to lose that. But as far as physically how I feel, I will say recovery is key. Recovery is definitely key now, as before when I used to be able to, like, someone would say, hey, go run and do a round off back handspring, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. I would easily go and do it. Now it's like, oh, my God, am I going to pull my back? Am I going to throw my back out? I used to never feel that way, and it's like every day I get up and I try and do fasted morning cardio, just to get I feel like my body's a machine now. Just to get it up and moving and running, I feel so much better after I get a little bit of exercise under my belt. And another funny thing is I never thought of this, right? So, in my entrance, how I do that no-handed cartwheel, it's called an aerial. And I think someone brought it to my attention when the Legends were coming back. It was like the 25th anniversary or something like that. And we were talking about it, and they're like, the Legends. Oh, and it also was for, like, the Royal Rumble. When they had Trish and Lita come back and Molly Holly and all those girls come back, they're like, what if when you retire and they ask you to come back when you're, like, 40 or 50 years old, and your entrance is known for that aerial, what are you going to do? And I was like, oh, my God, I have no idea. I was like, that is a good question. I never thought of that, ever. So I'm really curious in about 20 years, if I get the call to come back, how I'm going to be able to do it. So I'm very curious, but I thought that was, like, a funny thing that we actually started talking about. But as far as, like, how I feel and stuff, like, recovery is key, and I think myself as well as all the other wrestlers could attest to that. In today's society, we're really blessed with all, like, the new technology and the equipment, and, a lot of these new sport companies are coming out with, like, these cool recovery systems, like Normatec has this really great, like, compression, rehab therapy. There's the Theragun, that kind of trigger points areas. So we have, like, each wrestler has obviously their own style and technique of how they warm up and what they do in post-recovery. I'm really big on massages, and one of my best friends, she's a doctor, and she does all, like, the Grafton work. So I find that very helpful, too. But, I mean, I wake up with a different ache and pain, and I wake up and it sounds like I'm a bunch of rattling spoons because it's like everything is clicking and popping back into place. I'm like, wow, what is wrong with me? Like, I'm old, but I'm not that old, I don't think. But compared to Dave, I guess I'm really young. So
yeah, exactly. Compared to all of us, technically.
Yeah, right.
And how about diet then, in terms of when you were a little younger and where you're at now, and also you're on the road a lot, with the show and stuff and performing, post-recovery diet, but more like just your general, hey, this is how I eat now, or when I eat. Are there adjustments that have been made, over the years with something like that?
Yeah, so, growing up in gymnastics, I was always super active. Hats off to my parents because they would always be constantly running me around and, cooking my meals and my food. I was so used to a routine, and I was so used to waking up at a certain time, eating, then working out, and then eating another 2 meals, then going back to the gym and training. I was so consistent, and my body knew the food it was getting every single day at that point in time. And that's how my body knew, like, okay, I'm going to be fed in 2 hours, so let me burn this food off that I'm, ingesting now. And so it was muscle memory. It just kind of knew itself. And then transitioning into wrestling, obviously health and fitness is so big, but I can't have a routine how I used to before, because it's just our schedules are just, you never know where you're going to be, what the time changes, how your flight schedule is going to work, if you're going to be able to work out that day. So it's constantly changing, and that's also a blessing, which I find that WWE teaches you, is to not be complacent. You always are going to be on the go. Everything is always constantly changing. And in the beginning, it was a struggle for me because I was so used to, okay, this is what I eat, this is how my body is going to respond, and that wasn't the case. The case was, it was like, in-ring training is definitely super crucial, and we're always working super late at night with the shows and stuff. So even when the show is done, it's 10:30, 11, and we're starving, right? And we're driving to the next town, and the only thing that's really open is like a McDonald's or fast food places. And at the beginning, I was like, well, this is not good. Like, how am I going to survive? And I just kept telling myself, like, I guess I don't eat. But I started to be able to, like, find a groove and find little things that work personally for me. I went through a very hard transition in my wrestling career where I thought what worked for me before was going to keep working for me again. And it wasn't, I went through that difficulty, that weight fluctuature, as I find a lot of girls do when they first come up to the road, is the adjustment period. But something, there's a lot of amazing food companies that meal prep for us. A lot of the guys do it too, where they send their food on the road, and so we have that luxury of having meals. But like I said, I find different little things that work for me. I have my protein shakes. I have Starbucks has these amazing little egg white bites that work for me. And then on Tuesdays, typically, because I am on Raw, Tuesdays I come home, and Tuesdays I kind of have like a relaxing day where I don't stress really what I'm eating. I'll have a nice cheat meal and just eat, whether it be pizza, whether it be ice cream, something, just so my mind is, relaxed and at ease. And then on Wednesday, I really pick it up hard again and train and eat super healthy. But for me, I don't like to wrestle on a very heavy stomach. Like, I'll eat before I wrestle and before I go into a show. I'll have like a little bit of fruit or something just to tie me over until I can eat after I work. But everyone is different. But yeah, definitely health and fitness is such a big part in what we do. And I think that's really kind of, it fuels our engine, and our body is what is really what our moneymaker is, and how we progress in this business, and how we feel good about ourselves, and also really and truly how we're safe, because if we're fatigued and we're tired and we don't eat, we don't perform our best.
Because obviously fitness and diet, and when people say diet, a lot of people think like a restriction, but everyone has a diet. Everyone has a diet of what you eat. And obviously those two elements of the 1-2 punch of, are you active, are you burning the calories, and what's your intake of calories, and then that's what it's going to develop what your machine is, your body. And you have such a, with WWE, you've got a great stage there, and obviously it's always been, like when I watched wrestling, I was young. It was back in the Hulk Hogan days and Roddy Piper and Andre the Giant and stuff like that. I was in grade school days, and so I would imagine things never really changed, and I would imagine the large audience of the WWE today, especially at the live shows, are families and kids and stuff like that. And so, it's a good opportunity for, I would think that WWE would be able to pounce on this opportunity to have ways of working in fitness into and diets into sort of, videos or something that the kids can follow and stuff like that, would be good, because that fitness world is always such a moneymaker at the same time. I mean, everybody's putting out fitness videos. It was called Yoga for Regular Guys with Diamond Dallas Page. I helped make that his workout video after he retired.
Yeah, that's great. And yoga's a very good thing for us, too, as far as recovery. I know a lot of people don't feel like yoga is very, active or doesn't burn, but it really does. It's definitely exhausting. And we find, I try to do in every, resolution, New Year resolution, I always tell myself, hey, I'm going to stretch more. Hey, I'm going to do yoga more. And to me, I'm guilty so much because it hurts so bad. For me, I don't get as much stretching as I know I should, but I'm guilty of it because I know how good it is, and it hurts so bad. I'm like, oh, do I really want to be in that pain? But I know definitely I need to do it. So I give you a lot of credit for doing that. Did you find it helpful?
Yeah, I love yoga. I mean, it's, because to me it's not high impact, but you really get a workout, but you're also stretching at the same time. You're opening up those ligaments and you're opening up your joints for air to get in there, and as you're stretching out and stuff. And I agree with you. Especially a lot of men, they think, oh, yoga, no, I'm just going to go lift weights, but it is such a hard workout. And it's also, I wouldn't say it's an easy workout, but it's a great intro to people that have not, taken care of themselves for a few years and are, want to jump back in on those New Year's resolution type things. It's an easier one to kind of start with, that sort of get your body activated into that hunger for exercise. Because I know you know this because you've been doing this your whole life in terms of gymnastics and stuff, but, you feel healthier when you're exercising, and then when you're not, if you go through this window and you don't do it, it feels like it's hard to get back into that groove, but then you just feel so much better and you start to want it more, and you start.
I completely understand. It's so funny you say that because my parents are in their 60s, right? And my family is so supportive. My parents and my sister, they're super supportive. Even when I was dieting and Thanksgiving, and my birthday's right around Thanksgiving, and, they would make everything the favorite foods, everything like that, but I could never eat because I was always competing in fitness. But they were always so supportive. But they would live their lifestyle, eat what they wanted. But then, in the recent year and a half, almost now 2 years, my parents, like I said, that are in their 60s, as well as my sister, who's 27, they will not miss a workout. My parents' lifestyle has changed like crazy, where they're in the gym and their workouts are so difficult. I'll go and train with them, and at first I was very hesitant. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even going to get a good workout in, blah, blah, blah. But I go and train with them, and it's better than my workouts, and I really, if I can, I would work out with them every day, every week. And my parents are like animals in the gym. They said the exact same thing you did. They said that they feel it takes a while for them to get into the groove of it. Before they were just I don't know how I'm going to feel, but now it's addicting. They say that they feel better than they have their whole entire life, and their lifestyle as far as eating, they feel so much better, and the results are phenomenal, and that's what makes them feel good, is when people come up to them that haven't seen them, and they're like, wow, you look amazing, or wow, you look great. And it all, health and fitness is a huge thing these days. As before, growing up, I wasn't really familiar with it. It was just part of my nature, so it wasn't something that I had to be turned on to. It was just something that was just habit. But I see now so many people are like, hey, I need to start working out again. And there's different types of classes as far as cycling versus boot camps versus regular gym, yoga. You can find your fit, whatever it may be, So it's not necessarily you have to hit the weights. But, hey, maybe it is a cycling class that are so much fun. So I really, recommend, and I always try and tell people, just give it everything a try once, and you can kind of find what fits you and go with it and look at the results. You might not see it within a month or two, but I'm positive within the second month you're going to start and feel a change, and that's the best thing ever. That's truly like the best thing ever. Because it just shows hard work with yourself. It's not only by how you look, but it also attributes to, like, your willpower, which is I'm so big on, is, like, women empowerment and empowerment for, like, men in general who, like, want to feel, like, satisfied and they succeeded something. And that's something that definitely working out you can feel. So that's my preaching, but I hope you feel the same way.
No, and you made a good point. There's there's so many things in everyone's lives that you might not feel you have control of, that you have goals and that you want to, whether it's your job or family structure, whatever it is. But that's another thing that could be very beneficial to people is you do control your health. You do control what you eat, and you do control your exercise. And if you take part in that on a routine, it could change your mindset of, well, I'm making accomplishments personally, and that will then help my positivity in life, even though I don't control, getting the promotion. I don't control where I work sometimes, and stuff like that. So sometimes that can get overwhelming for everybody of feeling like you don't have control of your life, and it's the one thing you do have control of. Nobody does the workout for you, and nobody's going to stop you from working out.
Exactly, and it releases amazing endorphins, too. So it's like if you are feeling angry, anxious, sad, I know sometimes I get so angry at certain things, or, my day I'm sad about something, I'll go to the gym and I feel so much better, like so much better after I get a good workout in.
Creech, correct me if I'm wrong, so the WWE moved to Fox just recently. Was that just this past Friday was the big one, or when is it?
Yeah. SmackDown moved to Fox.
Yeah, so we had a huge event this last Friday. We went live on Fox, which, oh my God, it drew over 4 million viewers. It was an amazing event, and I think it's like such a good connection for WWE and Fox too. It's such a different platform. I feel like we needed this a long time ago, but I'm so glad it works now.
They definitely went big last week.
I was saying you're primarily on Raw.
I am on Raw, but the funny thing is we're having a WWE Draft in 2 days, and that goes live in Vegas, also on the second airing of SmackDown on Fox, and that is this Friday. So everyone, it's up for, whatever. Some people will get transitioned to SmackDown. Other people will stay on Raw. Some people that are on SmackDown will stay there. It's just, it's whatever goes. And truly, I just feel like this opens up a ton of opportunity for both brands, whether it be Raw or SmackDown. I feel like this is such an amazing time for WWE in general, as far as both brands, not only Raw, but also SmackDown and vice versa, just because we have two amazing positions also with Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman. And I just think two amazing, totally different mindsets, running the brand with Vince McMahon still being, the main guy, but having a different say and a different eye. I feel like there's so much more opportunity that we're going to be able to be seen on two completely different platforms. So I think it's really a really exciting time for WWE.
Speaking of the draft, obviously, like I say, still on Raw, would you be, obviously, I'm sure you'd be fine wherever you go, but is there any preference to the show? If you could draft yourself, which show you'd like to land on?
I've worked with when I first got transitioned up to the main roster, I was on both Raw and SmackDown. And, it just goes to show it's whatever happens, happens. Like, my debut was on SmackDown against Becky Lynch. I won, and look at now. She just totally, shot up to the top. She's Raw Women's Champion right now, and she's taken, the bull by its horns and done everything within WWE, reinvented she's a great women's champion. So it's like I've been there. I've worked with everybody. I'm so blessed to just have the opportunity in WWE under my name. I think SmackDown is a great opportunity to be seen by millions around the world, being on a different platform as Fox, but also my heart bleeds red because it's always been on Raw. I've always, when the draft first started happening, I was drafted to Raw, then another draft happened, like a mock draft and things like that, and I stayed on Raw. And here's another draft now. I don't know where I'll end up, but what the point I'm trying to get across is we all work together to make WWE a one total package. So it's like whoever we work with, we're just trying to make the best possible product for WWE. So whether it's I'm on Raw, whether I'm on SmackDown, I'm just going to be blessed for any opportunity that's handed my way, and I feel like there's 100 million opportunities that are going to be open for grab. So I'm just really excited to see what opportunity lands into my lap, and if none does, I'm at that point in time right now where I'm just going to take an opportunity. If it's not even given to me, I'm going to just go and grab it like I did with Ronda Rousey. I just went out there, did what I had to do, say what I had to say, and, made myself known and be seen. And, that's really truly how I felt. Everything I said came from the heart. So I think, right now is an amazing time to make a name for yourself. I've kind of been sitting back a little bit. With any opportunity I'm given, I go out and I show what I can do. But now it's truly like after the Friday, whatever brand I'm gone to, I'm going to make a name for myself.
Speaking of the Ronda fight, like the one I watched, you took a really hard kick to the stomach or the center area of your
Yeah.
That looked like that hit really hard. I mean, obviously, with wrestling, things are somewhat tried to be. No one wants to injure anybody, but she's coming from UFC fighting. She's coming from where, like, it's different. Like, do you find the fighting styles are different when someone's coming from more of a technical place where you're coming from a gymnastics background and fitness training, and she's coming from martial arts, fighting, and, sometimes it's like, does she not know how to, does she kick, like, much harder than other people might kick, kind of a thing?
Something, I feed from that. The harder you hit, the more I want to come back at you. I feed off of that. That's something that I love. I love, when I had Asuka's first debut match, she was as rough as it comes, but it only makes me a better person. It only makes me a better wrestler. It only sets the bar higher for me, makes me want to accomplish more. I feed off of that. That makes me, like, super hungry for more. With Ronda, it's like, all right, you want to fight like this? I can, I'm not a softie. Like, I'm a tough cookie, and a lot of girls they have their different styles, but whatever style they want to work with, I can work too, and that's something that I really pride myself in, because with Ronda, it's like, okay, you want to bring the heavy hands, I can too. Like, I love that about her, and that's something a lot of people ask me, who's one person you want to get back in the ring with, and it would be Ronda. Like, it really would be Ronda. Ronda and I, we are great outside of the ring, but when it's in the ring, like, that's how it is. We want to put on and put out and just leave it all in the ring, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what we have to do. So, I tell her all the time, I'm like, hey, we're cool, we're good, we're super close. Like, she's someone that, if I ever need or I'm in a bind with something, she is so smart, so sweet, that I could call her anytime. But if we're, going at it, we're going at it. And that's something that I love about her, too, is because she does not back down to nobody, no one. And I won't back down to her either. Like, that's just the thing. I might get my ass handed to me, but I won't go down quitting. I'll keep going until the end of it. And so as far as people saying, like, did that hurt? Of course it hurt, but it's only going to make me want to keep going and fighting back stronger. That's just kind of who I am. That's how my father's always raised me. And, with other girls, they all have different strategies and technique and, you know, different background. Like, you know, Ember Moon, she's very high and like highly athletic, and I come from that background as well too, you know. So it's like, okay, you want to do all these flips, moves, cool things? I can too. Like, let's go, you know. So it's every girl brings a different side out of me. I can only speak for me and how I work. So I love working with every single one. You know, Carmella, she does like a lot of cool, entertaining things. You know, she likes to put on a show, a presentation. So it's like, all right, cool, you know, we can go that route too. It's fine. So I love each and every single one of them because it's a challenge. You know, Nia Jax is this huge, to me it's like a huge obstacle to overcome and break down and bring her down. Like I chip away at her. So it's like every strategy that I put out there is different with every single girl. And that, I think a lot of people don't think that way on outside of the, you know, wrestling industry. Is we have to approach it just like anything in life. You have to really strategize of how you want to do this. And so with Ronda, yeah, I know I have to knuckle up and I can't be, you know, weak. I have to give it all I got, and, you know, may the best woman win. That's how I look at it. And
in terms of, you know, your growth in wrestling, I wouldn't say what was your big break, but what got you into it in the first place? What was the moment?
You know, something, it was crazy because, you know, as a little girl, like, I would watch wrestling with my dad. It wasn't something that I, like, you know, dreamed of being. It wasn't, you know, some girls that I am very close with and I admire so much because I'm always saying follow your heart. Sasha, for example, she always wanted to be in WWE. Bayley, too, she always wanted to be in WWE. She followed her heart. She followed her dreams and made that, you know, accomplishment. For me, I was blessed, and I will never look back and say, what if? Because this is where I want to be. This opportunity is the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life, and it's something that I don't see myself without. I was in fitness and bodybuilding. I was in the Arnold Classics competing around the world, and I was at that point where it was like, what more, right? I got my pro card in 2012. I was sponsored by a lot of companies. I was so grateful for every opportunity, every country, every stage I stepped on and performed. But like anything, you know, it's like a little bubble. Fitness and, you know, the fitness and bodybuilding industry is a little bubble. And I reached out on as big as a platform as I possibly could to make a name for myself and inspire people to, like, hey, I was a gymnast for 18 years. Injury stopped my career. I never gave up. I'm a pro in fitness. You know, this is what I do. Whatever life throws at you, never give up type thing. I touched everyone I possibly could in the fitness industry, but I just wanted more. Like, I was like, how do I get out there? How do I make a name bigger for myself, you know? And it was like a godsend. And WWE came and approached me, said, hey, you know, we love your personality. We love what you do. You know, would you like to come and try wrestling? And I was like, wait, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, I was in Spain. I was in the Arnold, Spain. And so the Arnold Classic has a ton of different events, like gymnastics, fitness, sword fighting, like professional pole dancing, like the classy, you know, very rhythmic type style. And then they also have amateur wrestling. And I'm like, wait, what are you talking about, wrestling? Like, I'm not doing amateur wrestling style. And they're like, no, like WWE. And my eyes lit up because I didn't, you know, think about it ever since I was a little girl when I used to watch with my dad. And, like, we used to wrestle every Sunday morning, you know, with my little stuffed animals. And me and my dad, he would, like, body slam me on the bed. And we would just have so much fun. So I was like, wow, really? And I knew that WWE had that platform, had that name, had that amazing exposure all around the world. But at that time, I was like, but can I? You know, because I was 24, 25 at the time. I was like, can I do this? Like, can I really learn a craft from this age? Because, you know, a lot of people don't think that they can do something when they're that old, that mature. My mind probably, fear comes involved now that I'm older. When I was younger, fear was never an issue. But I'm like, wait a second. So you're going to be telling me every morning I'm going to wake up and say, hey, we're going to practice punching you in the face. We're going to slam you on your back. We're going to hit you over the back with a chair. Like, who thinks these things? So it was like, oh, my God, can I do this? Can I really see myself doing this? And I was like, yes. And I tried out. I fell in love with it. You have no idea, I just fell in love with it. The moment I got into the ring, I was like, this is home for me. Just the wrestling aspect of it. It was like the entertainment, the physicality, the athleticism that I was just like, okay, this is what I was searching for. And then, I was down in NXT before NXT was what it is today, which is purely amazing of how much it has grown from when I was there until now. And I developed, it was like a sister and brotherhood with everybody. You basically live with these people. It's like you see them more than you do actually your family. So it was like creating that bond, creating that family base, which is it's amazing to actually say, we are a family. We travel, we are on the road together so much. So it's amazing feeling and definitely a good connection. And then I had transitioned up to the main roster, which I was working Raw and SmackDown, and that seems like forever ago. Oh, my God. Looking back at it, it just seems like it was so long ago. But, overall, WWE, teaches you so much in life. Not just wrestling, but just life in general. Preparation, determination, never giving up. WWE actually saved, I will say this, I've said it a million times, WWE saved my life. I went through a death with my boyfriend. He passed away suddenly, and I didn't know how I was going to go on. My life was just, it was like a rug pulled out from underneath of me, and I tell everyone, I say thank you, from the bottom of my heart. Vince McMahon, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, all my producers, I'm like, thank you, because you guys really saved my life. I was in such a dark place, but I knew life always is it keeps going. It keeps moving on. It wasn't like, hey, let me time out, put a hold on my life. No, and especially with the industry and the career I'm in, WWE is always going. It never stops. It's not like I am a lawyer or I sell insurance where I'm like, hey, I'm taking a 2-week break. We got to stop. A lot of things are going on. I need to take time for myself. No, it was like I knew I had to keep going. And WWE, I have to say with 100% from the bottom of my heart, thank you, because it's taught me so much. And I know, Natalia went through a death with her father, and she says the same exact thing. It makes you, you get out and you get to work and you get to go into this element where you're seeing people smile and have fun because you're giving them that pleasure and that, joy and bringing smiles to these families' faces. And that's what I thrive off of. So, WWE teaches you so much more in life in general than just wrestling.
How long have you been doing this with the WWE then?
I'm going on 6 years.
6? Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I have another 5 in me.
Yeah. And do you feel like you're still evolving within your own wrestling and within your own performance and stuff? Do you feel like,
oh, yeah.
It's never ending, right?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. You're always constantly learning. You're always constantly evolving. And within the last year, I feel like I'm more comfortable than ever. I started off as a heel. Now I'm a baby face. So it's 2 total different styles of wrestling and training. And that's what I love. I want to say wrestling is I'm married to wrestling. Wrestling is my drug of choice. It literally is everything to me, because if you think of it, nothing's the same. Not one night is the same. Not one match is the same. It is constantly changing. that is the beauty with the art that we do in WWE is every night is different. So it's like I go out on a Friday. I leave Friday night on a high, right? Because I'm like, oh, my God, I want more. Hey, I think I could do this better. I think I can execute this move plus this move to make this result. And I want to do that. So I have Saturday night to do it, right? And I go in, I perform it Saturday, and I'm like, okay, I know that works. How about this? Can this work on Sunday? So it's like a constant, like, here we go. Sunday, it might be like, I messed up. I didn't do the best I could. I'm really down on myself, which happens. I'm far from perfect. But we always have that chance. We always have that, we can make it up in our minds, and we all support one another. And backstage, everyone is so supportive, and it makes it such a better place, a better feeling. And we have the blessing to always get better and improve.
When do you guys have time to actually train, for new moves or with the wrestling aspect of it all? Like, just...
We don't have a lot of time. I take that back because we have very limited time, but you make time. With whatever you want to accomplish in life, you're going to make time for it. So if, you want to practice a couple new moves, we have an amazing performance center down in Orlando, Florida, and doors are open to us, and we go down there. We can train. We have an awesome recovery place down there, too, and it's all free. You go down there, and we have amazing coaches. I was coached under Norman Smiley and Sarah Amato, who are fantastic. Matt Bloom is the head coach down there, and he was coaching first. I remember when he was wrestling, like he was he was on the main roster, then got a coaching position, then got moved up as a head coach. And that place down there, if you don't succeed with those coaches down there and that coaching staff and that rehabilitation center, that's on you, because there's nothing that they can't teach you. So if you want to learn, you go down there, you go and train. Before the shows, we have a ring available to us. We have amazing producers on the road. Finley is always down there constantly like, hey, you want to try this? Let's try this. And we go there early. We show out. We, practice, and then we get ready, and it's showtime. So if you want something and you want to do better, and, you have to find the time. And like anything in life, you just make time for it.
What's happening currently right now with Dana? Where is she in her sort of WWE stories? What is
it's constantly evolving and constantly changing. I'm just really kind of here to see what happens after the draft on Friday. I had amazing matches. My last favorite match of all time was actually the Money in the Bank match, which was a ladder match back in May. It was so fun, so amazing, so high energy. I've had amazing feuds with Sarah Logan, who was part of the Riot Squad. We've kind of battled it out. She split my head open. We went back at it toe after toe. I think we had 9 matches altogether, just back and forth, and it kept getting more and more, like, violent, and that's what I love. It was just super violent, super hard, hands-on, and, it's just I have faced, Nikki Cross in the tag team title pictures, and it's just been a lot of fun, but it's all coming down to the draft, because the draft, once Friday hits and we have definite, okay, this is who's on Raw, this is who's on SmackDown, then we can really dive in and to focus on, all right, where we're going, what we're doing, and, we're going to see how everything kind of pans out. And that's what I'm really super excited for, is to see where I end up. And at this point in time, it's not just Dana Brooke, but it's also Ashley Sabera, because this is who I am. This is how I am. It's not a character. This is how I am in real life. It's like any opportunity that's given to me, I'm going to take and run with it and make the most out of it.
I did get some fan questions. for you as well.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, we tried doing this live once, and it didn't. There were some raunchy questions that were asked, so I feel like this is a better way to just collect some questions. There was a bunch of questions asking to marry, if you'd marry them, so we're going to skip over those.
Those
just
were
know
all
that
great.
everybody wants to marry you.
Those were all mine.
I'm married to wrestling. I just said that, you know? I'm married to the game and the grind. Maybe ask me after 5 years and we'll see what happens, but
so
this
guys
is what
out
I'm married to right now.
You guys got to go change your last name to wrestling really quick. And then...
Exactly, right? That's actually a really good one. That's the first time I heard that. Whoever has the last name wrestling, that's who I'm married to.
And the first question is from an @Daybed5. I know you mentioned earlier tag teams and Nikki Cross and the tag titles. And actually, I believe on your Twitter, Natty said she'd love to tag with you. But who would be your dream tag partner if you were going for the women's tag titles?
Oh, I have currently Natty. I've always said that. I look up to her. I admire her. She is one person that, you know, she's just so humble, and she's passionate about her job. She loves what she does. So, and I think our styles are we're very similar. We're both super strong. You know, I think me and her look great, you know, put us side by side together, and we're two, thick, beefy blondes that have, you know, amazing, powerful talent in the ring. So I definitely think we can make a statement. Past wrestlers, I would say either Trish Stratus or Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix, you know, I get compared to a lot, you know, as far as power and agility. So I would say her. Trish Stratus, I adore her so much. How athletic she was. I think a lot of our flips would come in handy. And, you know, me and Trish, she sat down and talked with me maybe a year and a half actually it was over 2 years ago, how time flies, when my ex had passed away. And we developed this chemistry and this connection that I admire her so much. So, yeah, those are the three that I would really think I would love to tag with.
@Noah Aponte, I hope I pronounced their name right, asks, what's your favorite ring gear that you've worn?
My favorite ring gear? I love the one I actually debuted in back in NXT, and that was inspired by, my inspiration was Trish Stratus, which is crazy. She had it all black, and she had, sequins and everything on it, and that's where I got the inspiration piece from, was her gear, and I put pink and black in it because it was Natty was also someone that I looked up to, so it was definitely a collaborative inspiration.
Well, how do you get the outfits made? Do they have is that a league thing where they have their own costume makers, your outfit makers?
we have a whole costume design team backstage that are constantly working. If someone has a gear malfunction during the day, someone needs gear made, someone needs this, that, shirts made, anything. We have a whole staff backstage. Like I said, I give props to everybody that has a job back there because they are professionals at what they do. I have an amazing gear lady. She's been there, so long. She's made Undertaker's jacket. She's made, Goldberg. She's made Batista's. Her name's Terry. She makes my gear. She makes Natalia's gear. She's one amazing, talented woman.
That's awesome.
And actually, the one that made my debut gear, the one I'm talking about, was Sasha's husband, Sarat, which is he's actually part of the costume design team as well too. He's super talented. He's the one that makes Sasha's gear. So, yep, that's who made my first gear ever.
Yeah. I would say the wrestling outfits, are, especially on the women's side, are so impressive. You know what I mean? They're just it's like what, you're wearing rock star outfits, basically. It's like you're going out.
Yeah. And the different thing is it has to be made for wrestling, which a lot of times people try and get costume designers outside in their hometowns, in their cities, where, LA, and then they get them and they rip, or they get them and it doesn't fit, because we have to move, we have to jump, we have to basically do splits in them, and, you know, you never know how it's going to fit or how it's going to move. So I've made that mistake before. I had one set of gear made. It was a designer that used to do Disney stuff, and I was just like, wow, this is not going to work for in the ring. Like, I can't move. You know, it was just like strictly for just standing there and shaking hands.
Right, yeah. Well, so a lot of thought goes into that, and having people that have done it in the industry, like, you know, in-house, they understand those attributes that, you know, have to do with the outfit. So you can't have the drawers ripping in the middle of
No, not at all.
At Women's 5 Wrestling, they asked, how much can you curl and bench press at max? They wanted to let you know you are their workout role model.
Oh, thank you. Curl, I can do 50 to 60 dumbbell curls, one per arm, 50 or 60. Bench press, oh my God, I haven't benched in a long time. 155 maybe. I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't really lifted super heavy. Like, my training from when I was in fitness to where I am now is so different. But I definitely try and curl a lot, always. My dad always makes me curl a lot.
The next one is from @NoTrolling. They say, what advice would you give to a new superstar trying to find their way in WWE?
Never give up. It's something so brand new that we're learning. When we were kids, we never had to think. It was like our bodies just did it, right? Like I said, fear was never an issue. You know, you tell us when we were little kids to go and run off a diving board, and we would do it. You tell us now to go and jump off a diving, like a platform dive, you think everything. Fear kicks in. All that, you're like, what if I get injured? This, that, all the other stuff. This is all brand new. This is all something we're learning and training. People say, why are you doing this? You're not going to make it. Why are you starting something when you already have something? Never give up, because the best feeling is success. And something I will tell people is get in the gym, train, you know, start lifting weights, get your cardio up. Cardio and, you know, being able to be winded and still perform. Winded means like out of breath, blown up, and still be able to perform. That is key, because there's one thing I will say is in ring shape is completely different than being in the gym. Like, it's something, because you're constantly, your mind's going, right? You're thinking 24/7. Your body's in motion. It's stop, go. It's always high intensity. So you're going to get exhausted super fast. So being in ring, you know, training, running, sprinting, jumping, high intensity training, that is something that I advise everyone that is trying to get into the business to do. Find a reputable coach, somebody that knows, not somebody that's done it that's like, hey, do it my way, but somebody knows the industry, somebody knows the business. Because, yeah, you might know moves, you might know how to body slam, you might know how to give a suplex, but you don't know how the whole business works, right? Because there's a lot more to it than just actually wrestling. So know and get somebody that's reputable and knowledgeable about this business.
That is definitely sound advice for sure.
Don't hire Dave and Creech. Don't hire Dave and
Creech.
Yeah.
I took 2 bumps in a wrestling ring for a documentary I was shooting on an independent wrestler, and I have so much respect for you guys, because my body would not be able to do it like every day like that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, the last one I've got, it's a statement more than a question, I guess. But MG Simpson states she hopes you get a shot at Becky Lynch soon for the women's title. I mean, obviously, depending on the draft, you may be going against a different women's champion, but she wanted to let you know she hopes you get a title shot soon. And obviously, with Becky Lynch, you've already proven you have what it takes.
And Becky is a dear friend of mine. But when it comes down to business, I respect her because she will knuckle up with anyone. I mean, she was in the ring with Baron Corbin this past week with The Rock. She's been all across the world doing the most amazing things on the cover of 2K20, WWE, video game. So she is one woman that I would love to face, and I respect her because she actually, we got in a Twitter, spat not too long ago, and she was like, all right, we'll step up. And I was more than ready to, and she was like, if there's one person too, she's like, you're ready for it. And I would love to face her, because I think we would definitely put out a great show. And that's someone that I would love to face. And, anybody who's a champ. I just want the opportunity to show I can go, and I won't give up.
So let me just ask one last question then, and then we'll wrap it up. On this draft, if somebody has a championship, say with Raw, if they're drafted and then they're out of Raw and they're on the SmackDown or whatever, is the title up for grabs?
I have no idea how that works. That's a really good question, and I guess we'll all find out on Friday how that works. So I'm interested as much as you are too, and the same thing with the tag team titles, right? Like, what if they're on SmackDown? How are they going to be juggled around? So I'm curious just as much as everybody else is and how it's going to work, but it's not going to stop me from going after it.
And if people want to watch the draft, where can they watch it?
It's going to be live on Fox this Friday.
Okay, so the draft is live on Fox this Friday. And lastly, let's just touch on the charitable work. Are there charities that you want to sort of promote on here that I know the WWE is involved in stuff and things like that?
Yeah, so. I love Connor's Cure. Connor's Cure is something that I hold very dear to my heart. It is for, cancer and children. As you can see, I do so much charity work. I love charity events. I love foundations. I love giving back to the communities. And that's something so big that WWE does. I do She Is campaigns, which is like women in sports. I also have a Dallas McCarver Foundation. That is my ex who passed away. And we donate to unprivileged children and families, orphanages, St. Jude's Hospital. So it's definitely something that I do all around. I just did building homes for unprivileged veterans in Palmdale, California this past week. So it's called Homes for Family. You can go and donate, and that just helps. We build homes for veterans and their families, but then also we give, resources as if schooling or, finding a job and therapy. So it's an amazing organization, a great foundation. Connor's Cure, like I said, I hold very deep and close to my heart. We do a lot of work with Susan G. Komen. I actually have a great appearance this Friday with Susan G. Komen, and it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. One of my close neighbors growing up, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She fought it, so I hold that also very close to my heart too. So WWE gives us amazing opportunities. If you would like, contact me. I will tweet you guys out with the links and wherever you want to donate, and I would be very grateful for any donation.
Thank you so much for coming on, Dana, Ashley.
Thank you.
Yes, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, also, pleasure is mine. Thank you for having me.
You have a great night.
Thank you. You too, guys.
All right. Creech, thanks for wrangling a true WWE superstar there. That's awesome, man. That's a special. And hopefully we'll be getting more because they're great to talk to. You know what I mean? They definitely want.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're passionate about their business, so it's awesome to talk to somebody. And I like to hear. Everyone's got their own story. How she came up through gymnastics and then was doing the fitness training, and really she's had 3 careers that are completely different in sort of like dynamic and also discipline. So it was was cool, picking her ear on all that. And if you want to pick my ear, segueing, you can come meet me at Rockin' Shock in Worcester, Massachusetts this weekend, October 11th through the 13th. I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So stop on by and say hi. And if you mention you listen to Dave and Creech, then I'll hear that. That's about all. I don't think I'm going to give you any crazy discount or prize or anything, but it'd be nice.
It's like it's a great.
If you actually mention you listen or anything, I might be a little more. I might be like, okay, you're one of them people. One of the people.
You're a true fan.
Yeah, you listen to us. That's crazy. This is the Dave and Creech Show, and I'm Dave Sheridan, and this is Creech, and we are signing off.